So I guess you could call this part 3 of the stuff that I've been picking up from my late friend's collection, trying to help his widow kind of sell off the stuff that he left behind, which is pretty amazing considering that they have a 4-bedroom house and every bedroom is kind of like full of his stuff. This time I just picked up a couple little die cast pieces I saw laying out. I actually had that Solito Gazelle when I was a kid, so I'll probably end up keeping that one. But I found another little bird sealed. He has 2 more in the box, but they're open, so I just kind of held off on those. We'll see about those maybe next time. But he had an LAV sealed. He's got the die cast 1/32 scale Blue Thunder, which I actually had a few years ago, but sold it regrettably. Again, more figures, stuff organized and labeled and in totes. And of course, this one popped out at me because it says Vietnam, and I like the Vietnam kind of era stuff. We were actually both backers for the Marauder Gunrunners Vietnam action figure line that they were going to do, which never came to fruition. So it was kind of a disappointment, but I guess these guys will suffice for now. I'll just, see what doubles he has and then keep those and sell off the rest. We found a box full of Acid Rain figures, but most of these are actually empty, and it turns out there's a tote full of the figures in here. So he had like a pretty cool like sci-fi, kind of like an LV 426 diorama in his garage. And I think these figures were there to kind of populate it, because it's a kind of, random sort of like workers and a, sort of futuristic kind of laboratory thing. I think those are Joy Toy. Again, the fact that he had everything kind of bagged and labeled makes my life easier when trying to ID this stuff, using like Google Lens, which has really come in clutch, getting things, ID'd and listed on eBay. And then the spacesuit thing I was kind of iffy on, but then when I checked out what was inside, it turns out there's like a bunch of Hiya Toys Predators and more of these kind of like Acid Rain figures. So definitely some value in every box that we open. And of course, more G.I. Joe vehicles. This was pretty cool. I thought it was a Hiya Toys Aliens Power Loader, still sealed. This Blade Runner spinner model, and then a bunch of stuff like this, just random kind of like 21st century toys. These are World War II like German figures and officers, and looks like there's a motorcycle in there as well. And you got more kind of like modern day sort of special forces guys, and a lot of these ones I've been finding don't have weapons, but it turns out he's got a tote here that's just full of just weapons. So I've been able to kind of like piece together rifles and that sort of thing for each figure. And the other side is actually all like tow rocket launchers and RPGs and that kind of thing. And then again, I've just been going through and trying to match up this and that and kind of put them in lots and list them as such on eBay and get them sold. And then lastly, I made off with this 1/18 scale BBI Blackhawk, and then the parts to complete it are in there as well. So I do have my work cut out for me, but so far it's been easy going, to say the least. And yeah, hopefully next time I'll have some more cool stuff for you guys to check out. Thanks for watching. Peace.